Welcome back to the Full Court Press podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brian Joyner, joined by Ben. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good, man. This is our 12th episode, so officially we can make some money on Spotify after this,
All
assuming we get a
right.
2,000 monthly viewers. So we're on
Well,
our
I
way.
think I think we're on our way to like 10 right now. So,
Yeah, I think we're sitting at about two, so we're only a thousand to go. Not
all
good
from
math, but
Denmark.
yeah, exactly.
So, um, no, it's been good. Leading up to Christmas, everybody around here is getting excited. You excited for Christmas?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm going out to Arizona for it, so it's actually going to be warmer here in Texas than it is out there. Surprisingly, it's going to be like 81 in Dallas on Christmas Day. Isn't that
Nice.
wild?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess the Christmas season came a little early because this Monday it was like 30. So
Yeah, yeah. I think it's 28 here in the morning. It's freezing.
yeah,
But
yeah. But I mean, I'll take it though. I don't need snow.
no, no, you just need more Christmas lights. That's all.
Right, right. Um, no, I had a question for you. So before we started here, you mentioned my hat, and I had a question for you about hats. You're a
Yeah,
big hat guy. You wear hats
yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
How do you feel about the stickers? Some
It's
people
changed over
feel,
time. It's changed over
yeah,
time. When I first was into hats, I was like, "Oh, the stickers got to stay."
yeah,
And but it was kind of like the 5950 at the time was the brand, and so you keep just the one circle here, right?
yeah.
Um, or potentially you'd have like something underneath here.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went on, I kind of went away from it, not because I'm some people pull it off more than I can probably, but just my own personal style. I was like, probably not for me anymore. So
Yeah, I
I've
think I'm at the point where I mean, like in high school and stuff, you would do it just to basically prove that you didn't like buy it off some like lids or something, you know. So I think back in the day, it was like, yeah, you should have the stickers on there to show that you got a legit hat, you know. And
yeah,
so,
yeah, it was more
but
of
now
a statement, but not so much
yeah,
anymore probably.
yeah, I don't care anymore. So I just got this because I literally got this hat yesterday. So
Yeah,
so I
they were
haven't
talking about how
taken it
sweet
off
it is
yet.
for those who's not watching on YouTube. It's a describe the hat for the audience.
It's what is this brand? Travis Matthew collab with Austin Reeves. It's got I guess this is Austin Reeves logo. I don't know. It's
He
like
must have
a,
come up with it
a
or something.
half basketball, half golf ball logo, all black.
Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty
the
sweet.
the logo's white, but the
White
hat's black.
logo. Yeah, and two stickers on the front.
Two stickers on the front. Yep, two of them. One of them says the whatever Travis Matthews collab with Austin Reeves, and the other one's just a I don't know some other generic sticker. Yeah, adjustable sticker.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. If you haven't
Yeah,
noticed, I try to wear a different one every episode just to go through them all that I have. Just
yeah.
so otherwise I don't wear them all. So it gives me a
Do you
good
have quite the
reason.
collection?
Yeah, I mean, not all of them are good hats, but I think I've got 50 or 60, something like that, that I probably wear, 10 to 15 of them usually. So I'm just trying to cycle through them.
Right, right. Well, we got an exciting show today. We're gonna break out two new segments. That's pretty interesting. We've been working on them, kind of workshopping them for about a week now. But the first one is overreact or fact, and then later on we'll get into Mount Rushmore. Which is exactly what it sounds like. Overreact or fact is Ben and I both are gonna make a statement, and then the other will kind of say whether or not that's an overreaction or if we believe that can actually come true. And then Mount Rushmore is we pick a topic, and then we say the top four. And pretty much we're gonna stick. That's gonna be more fantasy focused. So we'll pick a topic and then list four things that are related to that topic. Um, so we'll start with overreactor fact. Ben, do you want to go with your first suggestion?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a little bit more relevant lately just because people have been talking about it a lot, especially with the NBA Cup going on. But first one we've got lined up is the Thunder will beat the Warriors 73-9 record for most wins in a season. Overreact or fact?
It is early in the season. I will say that. So it's hard to say that will be fact, but I think I'm going to go with fact. I
Okay.
think they will. I think I was looking at their numbers, and I mean their offensive efficiency is better than the Warriors were.
Hmm.
And this is all obviously asterisk with the fact that the Warriors did it for 82 games and the Thunder have done it for 22 or 4 or something like that.
6, yeah, we're about a third of the way
26,
through.
okay. So that keep that in mind as we go through this. But the only stat, like advanced stat, that the Warriors were better at was defensive rating, and that's only by let's see, 1 point, 102.8 for the Thunder and 103.8 for the Warriors back then. So other than that, net rating, the Thunder plus 15, or I guess plus 16, where the Warriors are plus 10. Point differential is plus 16 for the for the Thunder. The Warriors were plus 10. I mean, still both teams were blowing people out, but like the Thunder just seemed to be doing it just a little bit more.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's interesting, and that even factors in to some degree the fact that that was, what year was that? 2017,
uh, 15, 16.
15, 16. Yeah, so 10 years ago, pretty much, to where the game wasn't being played as quickly as it is now, as far as possessions per game. You know, the pace of play has just gone up exponentially, I feel like, to where, the fact that the Thunder's defensive stats are still comparable to that by a point is probably, you could factor in some sort of, I don't know if you call it inflation, but, the fact that there's more possessions per game now could also be, you know, erring on the side of the Thunder are doing even more impressive things.
No, for sure. And the Thunder are known for being able to give up threes. That's kind of what they're doing. As a defensive philosophy, they're kind of like letting teams shoot threes and hope they miss. And if a team gets hot, then they haven't yet. So I
Hmm.
mean, obviously they've only lost 2 games all season, but so that even leads to like the point differential is still insane. That the fact
Hmm.
that you're still beating teams by so much, and you're allowing them to shoot as many threes, and teams are taking way more threes than they were back even in 2015.
Yeah.
So
Now, do you
it's super interesting.
do you feel like the fact that they're letting them take more threes is a result of a better interior defense, or is it because maybe the threes that the teams are taking are not quality looks, but
I think
that's kind of what they're left with?
I think their philosophy is they find the lowest, I don't know, like percentage 3 point shooter, and they kind of just are okay with that person shooting whoever that is at the time. They're okay with that person shooting threes, and they're gonna live with percentages.
Okay.
And so that it's kind of the way that the Mavericks beat them in the playoffs a couple
Hmm.
years ago when they went to the finals. It was like they just knew Josh Giddey and Lou Dort were not efficient 3 point shooters. Let them shoot, and then if they score 30 and hit 10 threes, like you're living with that. But they're not going to 4 out of 7 games. So that's I think they've kind of adopted that philosophy. Plus, I think that they have such strong perimeter defenders
Hmm.
that they kind of just leave them on islands, and they're okay with leaving them on islands and allowing driving kicks. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of I'm on the fence about it. I don't think there's not really a third option in overreact or fact, but I feel like it's probably more fact than not. Uh, I do feel like, it is a long season. They've got a great start off the bat, but realistically, they can only lose 7 more games to tie, so 6 more games to beat the record. And it's a long season. I mean, it's grueling. There's back-to-backs. Injuries are always a factor. So I think I'm going to lean on the side of overreact, but it's kind of a caveated with I could see them still getting 70 something wins. It just may not be 74 that they need to win.
I
It's
totally
tough though.
agree, and I can see where that is. That could be the way to go because it is, like I said, it is a long season. You're only a third of the way through. You're right. They can only lose 6 more games, or I guess 5 more
Yeah.
games to tie six, whatever. It's interesting. It's something to watch for sure. I'm curious to see if they get towards the end of the season, if they start like if they're so far ahead of everybody, which they are right now, but like if they just become even more.
Hmm.
This day and age, resting is just way more common than it was back then, and so I'm interested to see if that becomes a factor. You know, SGA starts resting
Mm-hmm.
and Chet starts resting because Chet's injury prone for the most part in his career. He's kind of every year dealt with something.
Mm-hmm.
So do they start resting him? But we'll see. I mean, it's something that but also they might see this too and go, "Hey, we want to beat that," and so
Right.
they
I mean, I
they
think
go
they have
all out
that
for it.
drive. They seem like they really want it, which is obviously a big key to that. But it seems like, with some injuries too already, Hartenstein's missed some time. Obviously, Jalen Williams was out for the first about 20 games. Jay hasn't really missed any time other than one game, but they've kind of got some quasi rest in there already to some of their star players. Chet will probably be in and out here and there. And whether those are real injuries or not, most of them have been so far, but I could see them. I mean, they've won, you know, 24 games without their full lineup until the last week or so, to where they can probably afford the luxury of sitting a guy here and there and still winning these games. So
For
I do
sure.
think they're going to come close. I think it might be down to the wire to where they're going to push for it. I don't think they're probably going to be, sitting guys in March and into April because they want to get to that record, but it's gonna be down to the wire, I think.
As long as the record's alive, I think they go for it. I think they're
Yeah,
obviously. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, I think they're going to go
absolutely.
for it hard too. So I think having J Dub back, if they were going to lose the record, it was while J Dub was out. You know, and they didn't. Obviously, they didn't. They only lost one game. I think that they have him back now. Even when you get down to the end of the season, you want to rest. Let's say you're
Hmm.
just you still have an absolute number one 25, 30 point scorer on your team, like two of them really. So like,
Hmm.
I don't think you. That's why I'm like, I think they could do it for sure.
Yeah, and the amount of role players they have that can just plug in and play the similar role, as a defender and offensive contributor, 3 and D type guys is you can just name off 4 or 5 guys that just fit right in. So I feel like even if they're going to sit guys or guys get hurt, they're going to have enough firepower to kind of plug and play and do just fine, get these wins.
No, for sure. Um, so the next topic we have here is mine. I came up with is Cade Cunningham should be in the MVP conversation.
Mm, mm, I love this. You know, I'm definitely on the firm fact side of this one, so I'm not going to ride the fence at all. I feel like,
Okay.
I mean, how can he not? They're first place in the Eastern Conference right now, and if we value wins and record, which we do, uh, traditionally you factor in stats as well, and that tends to narrative and all that. But I mean, number one team in the East, he's leading his team in essentially every major category except for maybe rebounds with Jalen Duren, and like they're rattled off 9 straight wins here and there, four or
Dang.
five here and there. Like he's just
Yeah.
carrying the team as much as he possibly can, in my opinion. And he's only improving on his stats from last year, which were already essentially most improved player, in my opinion, last year. But he's only continued his dominance and gotten better as a number one option on his team.
No, for sure. I mean, he's taken a leap even from last year. You know, his true shooting is good. His usage is up. It's just if I reframe the question on from should he be in the conversation, because he definitely should, to
Mm-hmm.
he will win it. Does that
Mm-hmm.
change it?
Yeah, it definitely changes it a little bit, but I would, I think my argument for him still winning the MVP is that uh, the most valuable part. Like to me, yeah, obviously Jokic is going to be around number one, maybe Shea number two. Obviously, if Wemby stays healthy, he'll probably jump back up in the top five. Maybe Luca, all these guys that are perennial candidates for the award. But as far as most valuable goes, I mean, these other guys have other players on their team that are really helping them carry the weight. Jamal Murray's playing lights out right now with Jokic, and Giannis has been out quite a bit, and Wemby's been out quite a bit. Luka's got LeBron and Reeves and other players that are playing quite well, and uh, I feel like, yeah, Cade's had help from Jalen Duren and some others who they've kind of slacked off a little bit lately, but by and large, I mean, to me, he's proven himself to be the most critical asset on their team, and he's carried them to wins that they probably shouldn't have had without him doing his magic. So to me,
Yeah.
he stays in the conversation regardless of stats. Like obviously his stats are great and they'll speak for themselves too, but people that are still elevating, these perennial guys that are still really deserving of the award, I feel like some narrative comes into play there where most valuable has to mean something rather than just best season or best stats. You know what I mean?
Right. And if if we were just talking about him being in the conversation, I think for sure, like 100% fact, no doubt about it. If we're talking about winning it, it's so hard to get, especially if SGA and the Thunder break the record, he for sure wins it. But if they don't, let's say they don't in this scenario, it's always so hard to give it away from Jokic because his on-off numbers are nuts. I mean, he's
Yeah.
plus 13 when he's on the floor, and it's like in Cade, like for example, Cade is plus 8 when he's on the floor, but the team is plus 2 when he's off
Mm-hmm.
the floor. So
Yeah.
they're still net better. Like they're not. The Nuggets are net negative
Right.
when Jokic is off the floor, and
Yeah.
so to go from negative whatever I don't know exactly what it is right now, but to plus 13 when he's on the floor, that's hard to not give it to that guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think he's got to be number one still at this point. Like you said, narrative will come into play for SGA as well if they're hanging around that record and his stats maintain where they're at. But I think Cade could be a solid top three right now, with all things considered, and possibly top two even if you want to put him above Shea in some respect. But it's obviously very debatable. That's why we're debating it. But
Yeah, right.
to me, I definitely see fact, and if he continues his play and even improves some, he's definitely going to be in that mix.
Yeah, for sure. Um, moving on to the last one, you want to go over your last one?
Yeah. Last one. Okay, yeah. So Boston Celtics currently sitting 15-11, and they're fourth place in the Eastern Conference, which is kind of a big log jam right now. But you know, preseason we thought, what's going on with Celtics? No Tatum, this and that. So the question is, are the Celtics a top four team in the Eastern playoffs this year?
Um, I think that's fact. I think that Jaylen Brown has decided he wanted to play some basketball now. He started off the season just kind of like, I don't know, maybe some injuries, getting back into the rhythm and stuff like that, but like it seemed like he was kind of just trying to feel his way into being like a number one guy, and he has just kind of turned it on lately and has just been playing great. And their philosophy, and especially also, I'll say this, Coach Mazzulla is a mastermind,
Oh yeah, he's
and
a
that
wizard.
he's insane, and he might be a serial killer for all I know, but like the way that he talks sometimes,
I know.
but he can do anything with this team, and his philosophy of just like, guys, we're gonna jack up more threes than anybody else in the league, and that's our philosophy. And it's like we're just gonna shoot the ball like crazy, and it's keeping them in these games, and they're winning. And so, and then later on in the season, I mean, there's a lot of rumors that Tatum comes back before the All Star break, potentially like January, February, maybe. Um, who the locked on host for Boston, John Corrales, he's dying on the hill that he may come back early January. Um, so if he comes back and he looks any way like he did last year, if he builds into that, no doubt they'll be top four.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm leaning fact as well. Looking at the log jam in the East is, if they lose one game, they drop to ninth. So it's not like there's much separation there right now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a crazy spot to be in currently. Of just you got kind of the top couple guys. You've got the Knicks and the Pistons, and then I think Toronto's like a game ahead of Boston, and then just six teams of kind of 15-10, 15-11, somewhere around that range where anybody can jump up there at this point. It's more, do we think Boston's really going to maintain a level of consistency above some of these other teams below them to stay in that top four conversation, which I think they will. I mean, like you said, Jaylen Brown's playing great. They haven't been the healthiest so far. They're just starting to get healthy right now. I don't think Tatum's going to come back as early as January. Maybe he will, but they'll probably ramp him up at that point and not play him a ton. But ideally, he comes back in February, March at the earliest, maybe closer to April, and they get him rolling going into the playoffs. But, obviously he's pushing hard to get back as soon as he can. And I think they'll be hanging around that fourth spot around that time by the time he comes back. So realistically, I do think they can do it.
Yeah, and I think it also matters. They have big decisions to make at the trade deadline,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interested to see what they do because they need center play. I mean, Kata's playing good, but they need center play bad. So I don't know if they. I mean, obviously the top of my head is Daniel Gafford for the Mavs or Zubac if they make him available, or we talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Booch.
Vooch, which is another one. I don't know if Vooch particularly helps them. He's a big man and he'll play and stuff like that. But defensively, I don't know if he provides what Boston would need from him.
I don't think he
But
provides anything to anyone for
yeah,
defense, but
no, not for defense, that's for sure. But floor spacing and stuff, which he could slip right into the Horford role that he
mm-hmm.
played a couple years ago when they won the championship. So minus the obviously defense that Horford brought, but I think. Yeah, I think they're four right now, and I think they could easily stay there because, I mean, the teams right behind them, Philadelphia, who knows what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
14 and 11, they're playing okay. Tyrese Maxey's playing at an all-star level, and then Orlando is right behind them. And Orlando, their defense is great, but their offense is still horrible.
Yeah, and
They
they're
lose,
still banged up.
yeah, they're losing. They lose Franz for a while, and so I don't know when exactly he's supposed to come back. And then behind them, the only team I think could push them out is Cleveland. I think
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland could finally figure it out, and then if Miami makes any deals, maybe them too. But I see Toronto dropping
Yeah.
before those teams or before they push. So I think the Pistons, the Knicks, they're definitely going to stay ahead, and then you may
Mm-hmm.
have Cleveland catch up. But other than that, I think they can sit 3-4 easily.
Yeah, I think four is pretty comfortable. I don't see Miami jumping ahead of them just even now, as I guess Hero's just coming back and he's hurt his toe again. But I mean, Cleveland, I could see jumping up, but I mean, Mobley's out for 4 weeks now, so that's going to hurt
Yeah,
them a little bit to where they'll probably be more neck and neck for a little while. But yeah, I would agree. I think it's definitely fact that they should make top four very relatively comfortably, I would think, if they maintain their level of play. But addressing some of those weaknesses at the trade deadline would certainly help. I mean, I don't know why they signed Anthony Simons. I've never been a Simons guy, but
they traded
especially at
for
the
him. They needed to get off of Drew Holiday's money.
yeah, which is fair. But then you watch how Drew Holiday's played in Portland up
Good.
until his injury, and it's like, I mean, are we really missing that much from
It's the
him?
it's that second apron. That second apron. It was either him or White, and I'd rather
Yeah,
keep White at two. So
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And it makes sense financially, but from a talent standpoint, I mean, Simons has been terrible, and he's always kind of been that terrible player unless he gets the volume, which he's not getting where he's at now because he's not deserving of it. So
they're
if
gonna
they
trade
could,
him. His contract's too big for the way he's playing, and
yeah,
they still need to shed money. That's the problem too. Is they
hmm
still have to move off some money. So they're gonna move him. I think.
yeah, yeah. But a big man would certainly help, and Chris Boucher is not really cutting it, and Kata is holding it down as best he can. But it'd be nice to have another stretch guy that can shoot outside and let them run their offense a little bit cleanly.
For sure. No, I think so too. And going back to if even if Tatum comes back and is just like a ramp up situation for 10 to 15 games at the end of the year, just
Hmm
having him on the floor, his gravity is enough. I mean, his gravity is enough to open up for White and open up for Brown and Hauser and all these guys to play better. Just having him on the floor gives them an edge.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I think they do need to get him about 10 games if they can going into the playoffs to get that rhythm back, get his confidence up. I mean, if he sits till the playoffs and even say he waits till next year, I mean, at that point, you haven't played for a year, you haven't got shots under you, you're
yeah.
feeling rusty, and going into the playoffs
Well,
is not the time to really be getting your feet under you.
No. Right, and there's a lot of stories that came out that the surgeon that he did for that he used for his Achilles, they they did a different type of surgery for it, like a different strategy or whatever for it, um, and so it kind of helped him keep his calf muscle. Like so they talk about they're watching him shoot and dunk and all stuff in practice, and they say you can't tell that his calf is lost. That's always the big thing with Achilles apparently is that you're building strength back in that leg. Well, the procedure that they did, the way they did it. Now I'm not a doctor and I don't know how they do it, whatever. But like the way they did that procedure was supposed to help keep that calf strength and keep him on it or get him on his foot earlier.
Okay.
And so it's interesting to see that he won't have to really deal with that aspect of the recovery.
Yeah, I'll have to read up on that. That's really interesting. It's almost kind of like if you got, Tommy John, maybe it's more like the internal brace method where you're not completely
Yeah,
going in and disturbing it. That might be something similar to that for the Achilles, but I'll have to read up on that.
no, it's interesting. But yeah, so that kind of covers that. You had any last thoughts about it?
If you have time, go check out Joe Mazzulla on YouTube and just watch some of his press conferences because I mean, he's definitely hiding something, but he's hilarious at the same time. So I
If
was
you really
watching
have
some.
time, if you really have time, watch the Boston Celtics play their media team. Did you
Yeah,
see that?
yeah,
They crushed them like 59-4
yeah,
or something in this media scrimmage that they have. It was hilarious. They hounded them.
yeah. Something about NBA shorts and YouTube and TikTok. It's just there's so much comedy on there that uh, I think like the Thunder they interviewed a bunch of players as they're going like, what's your career high points? Regardless of like high school or college or whatever. Uh, some guys they're like, oh, it's like 28 points. I'm like, how are you in the NBA and it's 28 points?
Yeah, yeah,
Hartenstein was like, yeah, I dropped 70 in Germany growing up. I was like 12 years old and taller than everybody.
they, yeah. I love the summer highlights. Like
Yeah,
Hardenstein had one where he's like crossing dudes up and dunking and hitting step back threes and stuff. And it's
yeah,
like people just don't understand the level that these guys play at.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah. And like
just
they get confined to these roles to fit what their team needs. But I mean, these dudes are just, they can do whatever they want on the court.
oh yeah, insane, insane. They're confined to roles that pay them $30 million a year.
Yeah,
Einstein's like, oh, you don't want me to shoot the ball? That's fine. I'll
yeah,
rebound and block shots, man. 30 million, sign me up.
absolutely. Championships, sure.
Yeah, right. Let me get on that train. But yeah, so we'll transition here a little bit to our next segment. It's a new, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, new segment called Mount Rushmore. And this week, I think we're gonna do the Mount Rushmore of undrafted players that have been picked up on the waiver wire this year.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
and kind
Traveling
of
all the way to South Dakota to get to this one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta go a long ways to see people like this. Um, um, to start off, I'll start off the list with Ryan Rollins from Milwaukee.
Nice.
I picked him up maybe a weekend, maybe less. I don't know. There was a couple guys on my team I was like not impressed with, so picked him up, and he has been awesome. He's been awesome, especially with Giannis on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
His gravity, I mean, of course, Giannis's gravity just kind of takes it, but uh, opens things up for him. But even with it off, he's still averaging 36
Mm-hmm.
fantasy points per game right now.
Yep.
So I mean, what more can you ask for from a guy who was not in the top 150 players?
Yeah, he literally did not have a projection on
Yeah,
ESPN as far as how many points he was going to get this year. Didn't think he was starting behind KPJ. They apparently didn't think he was going to get any playing time, which that's always my beef with the ESPN rankings. They don't rank all the players, but he's sitting at total fantasy points wise 25th in the
yeah,
league right now. 25th. That's, depending on if you're 10, 12 team league, either way, it's, third round, but still, that's insane for a guy that was not drafted or not projected to have any points to be a third round guy. Like that's a great snag on your part.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, I've been very happy. I mean, I think we have here that he was supposed to. They projected him averaging 8 points a game this year, and he's averaging 17. 2 assists, he's averaging 6. 2 rebounds, he's averaging 4.
Hmm.
I mean, 1 steal, he's getting about a steal and a half, so that's accurate. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he's up across the board on everything that they projected him at, except for field goal percentage, but he's only down by point 0.5. So
yeah. I mean, I just pulled from his career numbers because they didn't really
yeah,
have yearly projections, but this is just across the. I think he's been in the league 4 years. Kind of sporadic play with the Bucks last year and the Wizards, and but yeah, I mean, he's hardly off his field goal percentages at all. Half a percentage there,
well,
1.5 on his free throws.
from what I remember, I think, and don't quote me on this, but it's uh, he had some legal trouble in when he was with Washington. He never actually
Okay,
played for him, I don't think. And
really?
so they just didn't want to deal with him, so they just cut him. And I think
Okay,
the Milwaukee Bucks just scooped him up.
interesting. I must have missed that part.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like off the radar stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, he's producing at levels that we did not expect to
Yeah,
start the year. But even so, like he's maintained value the whole time. It's not like I mean, he's had some hotter weeks. He was pretty hot there for probably week 3 through week 6, but
hmm
he's tailed off a little bit lately with Kevin Porter Jr. taking some of his volume. But with Giannis out, he's still going to have the minutes, and his efficiency will vary here and there. But it's not like you were expecting him to be a 50% shooter with 45% from three or anything like that. So the value that you're getting from him, especially considering other people on the waiver wire right now, can hardly find anybody that's in our league over 30 points a game. The fact that he's giving you 36 is putting him comfortably in a very rosterable spot.
And even with KPJ coming back and being so effective, I think KPJ is not a defender, and Ryan Rollins is their best perimeter defender, and so that
Mm-hmm.
alone is going to keep him in the rotation, heavy minutes in the rotation. So, um, I think he has nothing but upside as well from this point on. Um, may come down a bit, but I think 35, 36 points is probably where he'll be at all year.
I agree, and we'll see what they do with Giannis as trade deadline comes up, to where that opens up even more volume potentially, and kind of locks that value in a little bit more concretely. But I do feel pretty comfortable. Like that's partially why I've been trying to steal him from you, is because I feel like he's going to have at least similar numbers. Maybe he won't go up too much, but those are definitely very respectable numbers, to where he's not going to be the last guy on your team. He's carrying probably at least your seventh or eighth best player at worst right now. So
Yeah, right. Yeah,
very
for sure.
very comfortable. Definitely I'd say the easiest to put on Mount Rushmore and chisel his face in.
Yeah, right. On to my next guy, going up on the mountain, Anka Nipple, who I didn't even consider drafting to start the season, and I don't think a lot did. He has come out, and I thought, and the reason why I wasn't going to draft him at the beginning is because I just saw him as a shooter, and that's it. And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
well, he has upside as a shooter with LaMelo Ball. The off the dribble stuff that he's doing and
Mm-hmm.
has been great. His playmaking has been way better than I thought he was going to do. His rebounding's been better. I mean, he's just been better across the board. The only thing that he's down on projection wise is free throws made and attempted, and so he's not getting
Mm-hmm.
to the line that much. But that's really it. And yeah, that's it. He's shooting 40% from three,
Mm-hmm. And
averaging
that's with a
19 points a game.
kind of a dip lately too. I mean, he was
Yeah,
cruising at 45 for a while.
right, right. And so he's averaging about 33 fantasy points a game. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think he's been a heck of a pickup. Now, not a lot of defensive stats, so but it's just not his game, I guess. He's still
Yeah, no, not
there. He's
really.
getting a steal a game ish, a little less than a steal a game, so that's
Which
okay.
is that's fine for your guard. I mean, in college, he had one steal a game and point 0.2 blocks, and he's at point 0.2 blocks and point 0.7 steals. So it's about what you'd expect from him. And I mean, to be sitting at the 43rd ranked player as far as total fantasy points so far. He's been available, he's been producing, and obviously with LaMelo Ball's been missing quite a few games here and there with the ankle stuff, and so I think that's allowed him to be a little bit more of a distributor on ball and not just settle into the shooting role, which it's come down a little bit here in the last couple weeks, but I still expect him to maintain the level of usage that he has because I don't see Charlotte making any drastic moves coming into the trade deadline, and there's nobody that they're waiting on to come back. I mean, Brandon Miller's been back now about 2 weeks and has ramped up to where I don't think it's hurt Knippel too much. He's come down from where he was slightly, but I mean, drafting a rookie and getting fifth round value out of him is fantastic. So
Right,
I'm
for sure.
kicking myself for not getting him in our rookie draft, but I don't. He may have been off the board at that point, but still, to get him.
I don't think he got drafted. In our rookie draft. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
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 but
in a dynasty, but yeah, even our draft, yeah, I don't think he was drafted at all. So
no,
top
I mean,
150 players,
I
he's
think
sitting
only
at
two.
43.
Yeah, I think only two rookies got drafted in our draft, and that was Cooper early on by me, and
Mm-hmm.
then you had Dylan Harper by you last round. So
I took Bailey too, but
did
I
you?
mean, shortly dropped both of them, so they didn't last long. I think Kalkbrenner got scooped up later on, and
Yeah, I got him.
yeah, um, but nobody else that I can think of. So I guess
No,
Edgecombe was picked up first
yeah,
week. So
but he's kind of came back to earth a little bit. But nonetheless, I think it's been very impressive what he's doing off the dribble and kind of uh, without just catch and shoot, which I thought that's all he's going to be.
yeah,
That's where you brought up the point about LaMelo Ball getting hurt. I thought LaMelo Ball was definitely going to get hurt this season because he always
mm,
does, and
yeah,
I thought that would kill Knippel's
mm,
efficiency and stuff. So I'm glad to see that it's not. I'm rooting for him. I like him.
absolutely, yeah. I
So
mean, he's a subscriber to the podcast, so that's cool. He heard us comp him to Kyle Korver and was like, "Excuse me, I went to
yeah,
Duke, thank you." And he's been putting up Duke numbers, so
different kind of blue.
yeah. But no,
Um,
good pick. Another very easy decision to put him on there onto the mountaintop.
for sure, for sure. Next up are your guys. Do you want to go?
Yeah, yeah. I did not think that I would ever be mentioning Russell Westbrook in this conversation, at least for this year's waiver wire pickups. But
Yeah,
maybe for Hall of Fame or something like that. But I mean, this guy's been going nuts. I mean, he's the 27th ranked player this year,
yeah.
total fantasy points wise. Like he wasn't even on a roster in the off season.
He
He
wasn't
barely
on a roster
signed.
at the beginning of the year.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. The Kings snagged him, the week before the season started, or right before, because they had some injuries and needed bodies, and he's
Yeah,
been probably their best player, arguably, and
it's
he's
not
doing
hard
it.
there, but
Well, yeah, true. The Chicago Bulls of the West, I've been told, but sitting at 29 minutes, but he's been very productive in those 29 minutes. Compared to his career numbers, it's kind of difficult to come close to where obviously he was averaging triple doubles
yeah,
for seasons back in the day in his prime. But the fact that he's shooting better from three now, about 36% instead of his career of just under 31, like
yeah,
that in itself has really raised his value and essentially almost doubling his 3-point output for his career this season. So I think that's what's really carrying him the most.
yeah, yeah. I think he's benefiting from being on the Kings, and so like he comes from being on the Nuggets, who aren't going to use him as an offensive focus,
Hmm.
and then before that he's on the Lakers, I guess the Clippers, and then the Lakers, and they were contending, so they just needed
Hmm.
him to just fill a role, um, and now he's on Sacramento, and they have injuries all over the place. Sabonis is hurt and stuff, so they need all the help they can get. Um, and it's crazy. Yeah, 13, 6, and 7. I mean, it's almost back to kind of where he was, I guess, coming off of his prime.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
As he became a role player,
yeah,
it's definitely fitting that profile a lot better. And I think that's not only what the Kings needed, but I mean, think of back before the season started, I was trying to get Malik Monk from you because I'm like, this is who that's Malik Monk's role, right? He's going to probably score more than 13, but he'll get you 16, 17. He's going to get you 4 assists. He's going to get you 4 rebounds and a steal. And that's what I thought. And then here comes Westbrook coming in and basically takes that role from him. And now he's sitting as a third round rated guy. And there's not really an end in sight. I mean, Sabonis will be back soon, probably, but I don't really think that hurts his value much being a guard. And they have not gotten consistent play from Levine or DeRozan, one of which is probably going to be gone at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
So I just don't see him getting hurt moving forward.
No, I don't think so either. And I think that people underestimate this guy is one of the most competitive dudes on the planet. I mean, I don't know, like any sport. And so, like, he plays at a breakneck pace all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't put a value on that. And he's showing it. He's showing that you just cannot. You can't stop him. He's just all energy all the time, and it produces numbers all across the board. So I think it's impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't even stop him putting Sacktown on your jersey. Like, that's not enough to slow this guy down. It's incredible.
These guys. Have you seen the so just transition a little hockey talk. The Nashville Predators?
Yeah.
They have a shirt that's like saying that has like basically insinuating that like we're walking or like Preds are walking or something like that, and it's like very much like Predator, like very childish. It's not.
Yikes.
And it's like, who approved this shirt? I had to look up exactly what it said, but
the
it's
pedophiles.
a bad one, yeah, it's bad.
That's funny. Well, getting to the last guy on our list, we'll get to some honorable mentions after that, but I had to put Nickeil Alexander-Walker on here. I feel like he's just had too good of a start to the season to not be recognized, and I mean, he's sitting at what was he, right under 50? Right about 50? No, right, yeah, 50 exactly, as far as where he sits total fantasy points. So still fits on the first page of ESPN, which is always a plus for me, not have to sift beyond that. But he's benefited obviously greatly from Trae Young being out for the last 4 to 5 weeks and some inconsistent guard play outside of that. But I mean, he's having a career year. Looking at his short 7-year career, his numbers are just through the roof, every category pretty much.
Yeah, no, I think another guy moves teams, goes from being behind, from being a super role player that's just like you're on the floor to play defense and then shoot threes in the corner, and that's all you're going to do. And so he goes there, he does the best he can, and he's good at it, and then he moves on to a new team that has more of a role for him, and he's showing that he can do more than just shoot threes and play defense, and so even in Minnesota, I mean, he's behind Jaden McDaniels, who is just a glorified version of him. So it's just like, I don't know, he found himself in a new spot, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and I have him, or I had him in a dynasty league in the off season. I picked him up just because he was on the waiver wire, and watched him last year in Minnesota. I was like, man, he's playing a lot better than he was for his career, and at least, I mean, obviously you leave the Pelicans, you're probably going to be playing better, but looking at his role there and what he was doing in the kind of limited, 24, 25 minutes he was getting in Minnesota, I was like, man, Atlanta's definitely got a spot for him to just kind of plug right in and not necessarily be the starter alongside Trae, but get closer to 30 minutes. And at least he's worth, snagging at that point to see what comes of it, see what role he finds, with Porzingis coming in too and Jalen Johnson back from injury, but was worth the snag. And then, I mean, he's turned obviously way better than I would have expected. I ended up trading him to Spencer, but just the categories across the board, he's not quite doubling and everything, but at least for his career numbers, he's putting up double in a lot of categories. Raised his 3-point shooting, raised his field goal percentage, raised his free throws. I mean, can't really ask for much more as an improvement player.
No, you can't. No, he's been great across the board, and so I think I wouldn't have expected him 20 points a game and like it's insane 34 fantasy points a game. I mean, nobody. I just didn't see. I thought his role would just be the same, translating
Hmm.
over from one to another. But I think, like you talked about, I think Trae Young being out, Jalen Johnson becoming more of a playmaker,
Hmm.
uh, kind of elevates everybody around the Hawks. So I think that's good.
Yeah, I'm curious to see with Trey coming back how it's going to impact his not his minutes. I think he's established himself now as a good option for them to where he's going to play alongside them quite a bit, but how that's going to shape their roles on the court. Because is Jalen going to be the guy that's? I mean, he's averaging like 13 assists the last week. The last 4 or 5 games. Like, is he going to continue to be the primary guy, or is Trey going to come back and do what he usually does and get his 12 assists, and Jalen's going to drop down a little bit from that? But I'm not sure. I feel like they've looked better without Trey to some level, but they're still not a
I
great team.
I think Trae Young has pressure on him. I think Trae Young needs to show that if when he comes back, he can play alongside Jalen Johnson and these guys,
Hmm.
rather than be like, okay, cool, I'm back. Y'all can step aside now, and
Yeah.
and he runs the show and has 75% usage,
Hmm.
um, which is ridiculous. But anyway, uh, but he's just not gonna. I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna try to be his old level of playing, and then they're gonna be like, well, this is just not working. Obviously, we've sucked, except for the one year we made it to the East Conference championship or game, and so their series, and then I think he'll be out. I think they'll try to make trades for him because I think this team's better off without him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the most likely scenario. I feel like he does the best when people doubt him, and
Yeah.
maybe that's just how he is as a person with a chip on his shoulder. But I feel like everybody's kind of on that fence of like, yeah, I don't think he's working out, and it's probably time to move on from him. So maybe that'll inspire him to come back and be what he was that one year. But most likely, I think you're probably right in how it's going to play out, and that'll end up being Jalen Johnson's team by next year, most likely. But uh, in the meantime, I think Alexander Walker stays pretty comfortable. Probably not top 50 rest of the season, but top 100 seems very, very comfortable. And for somebody that wasn't picked up even for a month into the season,
Yeah.
it's been a great snag again by you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been awesome. Yeah. I like his
How many of these
initials.
guys you got on your team?
I got two of them, but uh, I should have more. Colin. Anyway, you can go over your honorable mentions now if you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. Colin Gillespie
Yeah,
is one
he's
of
on the
them.
waiver-wire right now.
He sure is. Yeah, I mean he's been very streamable. I mean he's kind of like as people come and go, with Booker being in and out, and Grayson Allen was out here and there. Like the Suns just have a kind of small rotation of guards that they have that are available. Jordan Goodwin's another one, but
Hmm.
Gillespie's been probably the most consistent as far as being available and producing. To where I mean, 3 guys on this list, they're all in the top 75 of fantasy points for the season. So these are all very rosterable guys that is kind of just situationally based. Davion Mitchell is another one, and then our nemesis Derek Queen unfortunately made it on this list.
Ah,
So we got to
yeah,
comment that guy back, that the one comment we have, and say, we're not wrong yet, but he
yeah.
doesn't
I
look
mean,
good doing it.
yeah, it looks slow. I mean, it's just what we talked about before. I mean, that team, the opportunity is there, and you'll see it too. But the problem is when you watch the Pelicans, they will choose who they want to be my primary focus. And the
Hmm.
days that they choose Derek Queen, he plays great. And then when they decide they want to try to see if Fears has something, or Trey Murphy's on a roll right now, so they're trying to see what he can do. He's not playing so good. Like his numbers drop significantly. He'll go from like he had the triple double game where he had like 90 points, fantasy points, and then he'll go down to having like 13, and then he'll
Yeah.
have one where he has 25 or 30, and then he goes down to 12 the next game. So like that's where it's like, okay, yes, he's has good games and he's a decent NBA player, but like where does that translate? Like in our comment was about they traded a probably number 2 pick this year in this draft for Derek Queen, and Derek Queen would not sniff the top 10 in this draft coming up.
Yeah, or
So,
last one, clearly.
or
So,
last one, yeah, 13. So like that's where it's like, okay, y'all traded your number 2 pick, which is going to be AJ DeBonsa or Darren Peterson or
mhm.
Boozer,
Yeah,
for Derek Queen. So
yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
particularly
still,
think I'm wrong.
like I said, not yet, not
Not
yet. But
yet.
yeah, I mean, you watch the Pelicans too. It's like this guy is stat stuffing at the end of
Yeah,
quarters. You know, it's like
yeah,
he'll be in against the backups, and they just force feed him points, and he's putting it in to his credit. But I mean, it's not like he's starting games all the time and putting up these numbers. He's kind of hovering as a rosterable player for now, for sure. But you know, we'll see. Zion's obviously been out a lot more than we anticipated before the year started. Kind of. I mean, we always figure he's going to be out for 40 to 82, maybe 83 games.
yeah. I mean, we talked about this is what we're talking about Derek Queen. So
Oh, he's
he's
gone to
he's
the receipts.
he's averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds, which is fine. For a big man, 50% from the field,
50?
and 50, and then
Yeah.
he's shooting 11 from 3.
Oof,
So
man,
his
that's,
efficiency is horrible.
yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, cool. You shoot 30 shots a game. Yeah, you're gonna have higher spiked games, but I'm still not sold on the Derek Queen
Yeah.
is a good player.
He's kind of like Paul Reed to me, where like
Mm,
Paul Reed is decent at basketball. I mean, obviously he's in the NBA and he's around, but you give Paul Reed 35 minutes, this guy's putting up numbers. Like he's
yeah,
out there and he's having 20 and 10 and 2 blocks, and people are like, "Wow, Paul Reed, why doesn't he play more?" Because then you put him in against the starters and players that are good, or play him against teams that are good, and he doesn't do anything.
I was having a debate with my dad about Derek Queen, and because
Really?
he listened to the podcast. What's
Okay.
up, Dad? What's up, Dad? Um, and he was saying that he thinks Derek Queen could be like a Zach Randolph type,
Okay.
and I just don't think watching Derek Queen play, like they're both not the most athletic guys in the world, uh, but he doesn't have the physicality that Randolph had, where like Randolph was
Yeah.
gonna absolutely bang you into the post is all game long,
Yeah.
and then you had nothing. There's nothing you could do, and
Yeah.
so
It was like the
Derek
most
Queen doesn't have
rugged
that.
20 and 11 that you'd
Yeah,
ever see.
for sure. And also, just for the record, the we whatever the grit and grind, Grizzlies never won anything. So I love Zach Randolph. Don't get me wrong, but like they
Yeah.
never. I don't even think they ever made any finals. So
So is the comp because of his slowness and kind of
his
approach in the
yeah
paint, or
it's his post moves and the fact that he is pretty much a mid range to back to the basket guy, and he's not the most athletic.
okay?
He's kind of a bowling ball style of play.
I'll have to think more on another comparison. I feel like Zebo's a little bit too generous, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go.
I'll get back with you on that one.
Zebo's too good for him, huh?
I would agree, man. It's not
He's
like he was
awesome.
dominant, but he was a force for sure.
Yeah. Um, while we're kind of wrapping the show up, I'll show you this. This is what I'm talking about. Uh, let's see. Oh, where'd it go? It disappeared. Here we go.
No, that
For the
yikes.
listeners, there's a Nashville Predators shirt that was this year, and the shirt reads "Preds in the community," and
Man,
that's what I was talking about earlier about these guys.
yeah,
Somebody in a marketing team for the Predators came up with this idea and said, "Yes, this is good. This
yes,
is
that'll
good."
pass in bright yellow shirts.
Bright
Gosh.
yellow.
And Nick
So,
Saban just invested in this team. We're gonna have to
oh
do some deep dive into that.
yeah. Well, Alabama, you know.
No, yikes. That's funny though.
But yeah, so that was good. That's what
Man,
that was.
Well, that's pretty solid. I think we'll obviously revisit some more of this as far as Mount Rushmore of various categories moving forward. So it's going to be a fun new segment. Kind of break up some of the consistent ones. We'll get back to some more ballers and fallers or cop shop drop at some point, but
Hmm.
we've got some more segments lined up as well that Brian's been coming up with ideas just left and right. He's like,
Trying
man,
to.
trade me, trade me. Here's an idea. Let's go. Basketball. You don't need to do
That's
any
right.
work. Do
That's all I
this.
think about all day. My company that I work for is like, what do you do all day? It's like, well, I just think about segments for the podcast. That makes me no money.
Yeah. Well, we're on our way. Like I said,
We're on the way.
1998 listeners a month to go.
Um, so we have 5 minutes left. Kind of in our time frame here.
Perfect.
I was gonna bring up what the big news that came out today
Oh yeah.
in our fantasy
Oh
league.
yeah. Please do.
Uh, so today, after weeks and weeks, since about 2 days after the trade,
Uh huh.
uh, Ben and I talk every day, and so trying to figure out trades and stuff, just because it's just goofy and it's a redraft league. So what does it even matter?
Yeah.
We
Well,
finally made a trade today,
absolutely, we did. My God,
and
what a negotiation.
what a negotiation! Took the majority of my day, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
I
my
think
company,
I'm gonna count it as my 6 month dental visit because it was like pulling teeth, man.
it was tough. It was tough.
But
Made a mistake, had to redact a trade. Like it was a
yeah,
whole thing. It was a bad deal.
yeah, it was. But I was like, man, he's being generous. I like that. I'll do that
I
one.
was that
Nice.
would have been real generous. So
Yeah.
so the trade ended up being three Jalen's from Ben,
Yep.
Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Johnson, and then you throw in Trey Jones, and then I gave Ben Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Cooper Flag, and Emmanuel Quickly.
Yeah.
And so
Across the board, I feel like very fair. A lot of big names, which is exciting. When we're not doing in these, you know, Trey Jones for Jakob Pertl trades in the big boy league now. So we got to make big trades.
right, right.
But
Yeah,
yeah, how
I
are you feeling after it?
I still feel good. I still feel like I'm really happy to pair Jalen Johnson with Sengun. I was surprised you didn't try to get him Sengun
I
at some
figured
point.
I figured you wouldn't move him, and there's always
No.
I feel like there's one guy on every team that's like I could move him, but why would I? Like
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to move Wemby unless there's a good package. But I'll entertain it. But it's like, I mean, why would you? Why would you move Jokic? You don't really want to. So I figured Şengün was probably that guy, especially beginning of the year you were pretty excited about him. So I was like, I feel like you're
Still
locked in
pretty
on
excited
that,
about
and
him.
yeah, and I've got a lot of centers that are probably my better players to where I like to be able to at least have one center spot that I can stream if there's good centers popping up. Like J Huff, I wouldn't be able to pick him
Yep.
up unless I didn't have that fourth center. So I felt like I was
Hmm.
looking for more of a power forward or another guard that Cooper Flag kind of fits that role a little bit.
No, I think but yeah, I feel good about it. I think it's pretty fair. I think I enjoy top end talent.
Hmm.
Which I know that Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell are top end, and Donovan Mitchell is number one in like point guard, shooting guard, or whatever that position. But I don't like the way that they're playing right now, and I like the fact that Brunson and the Knicks are kind of on a roll here, and Brunson seems to be playmaking more than Donovan Mitchell is, and so I kind of value also getting players that kind of go across the board. So if they don't have a great scoring night, it's okay because they're going to get five,
Hmm.
six, 7 assists. It probably means if they didn't score that they probably got 10 assists or something like that, Brunson wise. But
Yeah.
um, and then obviously Jalen Johnson's having a great season, really undervalued and stuff like that. So I didn't like, not that Anthony Edwards is hurt bad, but it seems like at least once every couple weeks
Hmm.
he'll come up with something. It'll be his foot, he sprained his ankle, or he has a foot thing right now, but it's never. He's only out for like a game or two, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
annoying to me. So
Yeah.
I was fine with giving him up in this.
Yeah.
And Cooper Flag was really hard because I love the Mavs and I love Cooper, and I was just kind of like if I want to get Jalen Johnson, I got to pull teeth.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much. I agree. I do feel like probably top end talent wise, you probably got the better end of the deal. And, I knew that going into it, we'd have to kind of meet in the middle somewhere like that, just because, I mean, you are giving up some potential in Cooper, and, Anthony Edwards can pop off here and there. So I'm kind of leaning on the side of these younger guys have to really step up and continue on the trajectory up like they are. But in order to make it comparable on your side, because if the guys that you got stay where they're at, I mean, they're dominating right now. So it's kind of a
yeah.
hopeful trade, but I mean, without any risk in our league, it's not as fun for me. So, the
Right.
waivers are
Right.
pretty thin, and it's fun to talk about. So I'm excited to see what happens, and uh, see how it plays
Yeah.
out.
Our other league mates weren't as excited about it as we were, but
Well, until they figured out it's a
one
redraft
of them,
league, and
yeah, one of them thought it was a dynasty league, and if it was a dynasty league, I would have never in
oh
my
yeah,
life traded Cooper or probably Ant.
no, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
Neither
really
of
want to
those guys
move
would have
Jalen
been.
Johnson either. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a lot
So,
harder to trade in dynasty leagues. Although those can be quite fun to trade in as well, because it kind of
hmm
resets your whole framework of your team. But yeah,
yeah.
those big names maybe not so movable at that point.
No, definitely not. I mean, yeah, I would have just never even thought about it. So, yeah, redraft. I don't care. I'll. Everybody goes in the same pool at the end of the year, and we'll see what happens. And honestly, I'm sitting here behind a guy who's 8-0 in our league, so I got to do
Yeah,
something to try to catch him. And he's really, it's not very close in most of the games he's playing.
yeah. I
So
think I was like 70 points. Well, that was week one, so it's always hard to gauge at
yeah,
that
I haven't
point.
even
But
played him yet. I don't think.
yeah, he's played some scrubs, but he's got a good team. He's rolling people. So yeah, we'll
But
see.
also this, I hope, and we talked about this over text, but like, hopefully this gets people going and like in our league, seeing like, okay, well, people are open for trades and stuff. So
Yeah, big names too. I mean, nobody's like I said, nobody's safe on our rosters. Obviously, it's going to take some mountains to move Wemby, but he's available. People, if you're
yeah,
listening,
I've
send me
never,
what you got.
can't imagine what that would take, but
Yeah, probably a
wait,
lot, but
wait till he's hurt.
exactly. Well, he was just hurt, so
I know. Should have
but we'll see.
capitalized.
Might be hurt again in the near future.
What was that? But yeah, so that kind of wraps up the show for today. Um, and if please like, subscribe, comment, do all the stuff. We love getting back to everybody who comments on our stuff. Uh,
Absolutely.
Good, bad, indifferent. Yeah. Uh,
Good, bad, Derek Queen.
yeah. We love it. We love getting. Please, we put up polls sometimes when we can. We'll probably put a poll up about this trade that we made to see if see who people think uh, came out on top of this one. So please just interact in any way you can, and we're happy that you're here.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Nice. My thing was cutting out there at the very end. Yeah.